What in fuck's name are you doing?
Oh, never mind. Alright. Well, editing point. Alright. It's time. Good evening, YouTube. Hello and welcome to the 2014 NASCAR Sprint Cup Chase predictions and preview video. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have links in the description to when I talk about every one of the Chase drivers, and then I will have links as to how like the races will go, and then links to where I think we will be over the course of the rounds and all that business. I'm going to try and group this all into one video, but as a result, this video is going to be extremely long. So let's, without further ado, just get right to the predictions. Well, not the predictions, but really just the preview. So we're going to start with, of course, Jimmie Johnson. Well, there's a rule in NASCAR. It's a very easy rule, and everyone forgets it. I'm the only person that I know that never forgets this. The announcers last night, they forgot about it. The rule of NASCAR, the number one rule, you never count out Jimmie Johnson. Ever. You never count out Jimmie Johnson. And they counted him out last night. Idiots. Idiots. Rusty Wallace. Idiot. Brad Daugherty. Idiot. Whoever the female announcer was with those guys. Idiot. Never count out Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie was gone for the start of the season, and then suddenly he won a race, and then he won 2 more races within the next 3 events. And then he vanished again. Now you see him, now you don't. And everyone's counting him out. You never count out Jimmie Johnson. Moving on. Dale Jr. is having a career year right here. I'm a poet, and I certainly already knew it. But anyway, yeah, he got Daytona and swept Pocono, but that's all the wins that he's gotten. There's been a couple of times where he probably should have gotten a win, and he should not have beat Brad Keselowski at Pocono. Brad made an error, and Junior capitalized, but Dale should not have won that race. That should have been Brad Keselowski's some sort of win. And then this race should have been his 5th win. But yeah, Dale Jr., look for him to shine this year. Jeff Gordon has 4 championships, and since the chase has lost 3 championships. Jeff Gordon, under the old point system, would have 7 championships. And Jeff Gordon, of all drivers, is deserving of 7 championships. He's the 3rd most win driver of all time. He could be around for as long as Mark Martin was, and with the way his career has gone, he'd probably have 120 wins if he retired at Mark Martin's age. But I doubt he will stay that long for some reason. But Jeff is ultimately deserving of 7 championships, but he only has 4 because of the bullshit chase. And it's really unfortunate, because he deserves it. So look for Jeff Gordon to be a player. He has been incredibly consistent these last couple of weeks, and for the most part the whole season. Don't know if he's really a championship. His real hopes of a championship would be this year. I would say next year, if he can keep consistently going as he has been this year, he could probably win it next year. But that's next year. Kasey Kahne. He has not had the most shining of seasons. And that sucks. Because out of all the Hendrick drivers, Kasey Kahne's the only one I like. And it took last week at Atlanta for that to happen. He wasn't even locked in on points until, he got the win. So that sucks. But yeah, Kasey is not going to have a good chase. He's been running in the 20s. The top 20s are rare for poor Kasey. He deserves a lot more. He's in a fucking Hendrick car but can't get anything done, and that sucks. Moving on to Kevin Harvick, who has had dominant cars week in and week out. I don't know if it was his crew chief or Kevin Harvick himself that said that they should have had 8 wins this season. That is true. They definitely have had dominant cars week in and week out. He got screwed at Atlanta. Thank you, Kyle Busch. Well, actually, you know, he actually probably would have made up that position if there hadn't been that fucking wreck. But thank you, Kyle Busch, regardless. I mean the second wreck, not the first wreck, because Kasey Kahne was on his way to a win before the first wreck. Now, after the first wreck, Harvick had a chance. But, blah, 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 blah. Next up, we have Joey Logano. Fuck you, Joey Logano. I hate you so much. But this is your best chance at having a championship. I highly doubt he will be this good again next year. Highly doubt it. This is probably the best he'll do for the next 5 years. But yeah, look for him to contend at least for a while. Brad Keselowski coming in with his 4th win and will lead the championship standings and all that crazy stuff. Keselowski is working for a second championship in the 2 car. And he could do it, I'll be honest. Keselowski's been real consistent this whole year, as has all of Penske, which is 2 cars. Penske has qualified well. They've raced well. Finishes could have a little better work going on in there, but definitely gonna contend, both drivers. Denny Hamlin. Well, Hamlin has not had a good couple of races here. He has not had his best season so far, and if he hadn't gotten that bullshit win at Talladega, a lot of things over the course of the next races probably would have put Denny in a position where he'd have to race as hard as he could to get into the chase. But look for Hamlin to excel, because he's got a lot of great tracks that he's heading to. Martinsville especially. He is great at Homestead. Denny's got a chance. Aric Almirola. One word. No. He doesn't even deserve to be here, and he will do literally nothing. AJ Allmendinger. I would say the same thing for Allmendinger if Allmendinger wasn't good at Dover. Allmendinger's really good at Dover. He gets good qualifying positions. He races hard. Occasionally, he's up in the top 10 for a lot of the race. He has a chance to do stuff at Dover, but unless he wins, he's doing nothing. Matt Kenseth. You'll see I'll have Matt Kenseth, Ryan Newman, and Greg Biffle highlighted in blue. They were the ones that had to make it on points. Matt Kenseth, probably the most consistent driver of the whole year. He has no wins and is honestly looking to get another 2003 championship where he won one race, yet got the championship. And how blissfully ironic would it be that the meaning of the chase exists because of that championship run. And if Matt Kenseth can win this championship without getting a single win the whole season, just imagine what that could do to the chase. It could make the chase go away. And that would be so worth it. Do I think that'll happen? Of course not. But it would be awesome if it did. Ryan Newman. The chase has not been good to Newman. The chase exists because of Newman. And yet the chase has been Ryan Newman's worst part of the season. His best chase finish is 6th. And that wasn't even halfway until, 2008, 2009? That wasn't even the upper half. So Ryan Newman, look for Ryan Newman to not do anything in the chase, unfortunately. I like Newman, but he's just not a last 10 races of the season type of driver. Kurt Busch should not be in this chase. He got one lucky win at Martinsville. Still don't know how. And he looked humbled when approached for the post-race interview at Richmond. He said that he's lucky to be in the chase and that his team really needs to start working if they're going to do anything. It looked like he had really no confidence, but he looked humbled. Now, him being a Busch brother, I assume he is not humbled at all, and that was really just, I don't know, a demon of niceness possessing Kurt Busch there, but whatever. I don't think he's going to do good. Kyle Busch, also not exactly the greatest at the chase. Kyle Busch normally would wreck at New Hampshire and Dover to put his chase hopes in the morgue every single year. But lately he's gotten a lot better. He's gotten better chase finishes. The problem is he has had awful finishes the past month or so here. Bristol, Atlanta, whatever race was before Bristol. He had terrible finishes. Terrible finishes left and right. I don't think he's going to do anything. Next we got Carl Edwards. Carl should have won the championship in 2008. He did not. But, you know, Carl's not had a great season. Greg Biffle's the last good driver at Roush after this season. And it's just, Carl, I don't think he's going to get a championship since he's going to a new team next year. He got to focus on that. And I doubt he'll win the championship next year specifically because of that. But, yeah, don't look for Carl to do much. Yeah. Greg Biffle. Oh, what a season for Greg Biffle. One of his worst seasons. Made the championship chase by 7 points. In a manner that I knew was going to happen. I knew he was going to be several laps down and Boyer would have a chance to get into the chase because that's what always happens. So, as for Biffle, I'm 100% certain he's not going to do anything. And it's unfortunate. He will be the last good driver at Roush next year. And, oh, what a rough season. What a rough season. Alright, so let's, I guess, move on to the predictions part of the video at last. So, let's get right to the predictions. Now, I'm going to do this for, like, rounds, so I'll have links to rounds in the description alongside the Shut Up Steam Self-Updater. I'll have links for when the rounds, because here's where the rounds are. I marked it. Round 1, 16 nations go to Chicago, New Hampshire, and Dover. So anyway, I think, as you can obviously see, the C there, the C there, the D there, the D there. Yeah. I'm predicting Kevin Harvick to win at Chicagoland because I believe he has in the past, and Chicagoland favors dominant cars, which have been Kevin Harvick and Jimmie Johnson, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., as I have said in my NASCAR reviews over and over and over. As for New Hampshire, I originally thought that Kyle Larson was going to make the chase and that momentum was going to get him the win at New Hampshire, but now I have absolutely no idea who's going to win at New Hampshire. If Jeff Burton enters the race for, like, Michael Waltrip Racing, then I predict Jeff Burton will win at New Hampshire. So now, let's go to Dover. Now, since Mark Martin is out of the way, no one can match Jimmie Johnson except for AJ Allmendinger. So, Jimmie Johnson's going to win at Dover. That's almost a guarantee. I can almost guarantee you that Jimmie Johnson's going to win. I don't know about Chicagoland and I don't know about New Hampshire, but I can guarantee Jimmie Johnson will be going to victory lane at Dover. So when I remove this, you'll see my predictions for round 2 in 3, 2, oh, god damn, 1, boom! Jimmie Johnson, Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Kasey Kahne, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, Ryan Newman, Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch! So Jimmie Johnson winning at Dover will take him into the next round. Dale Jr. being Dale Jr. will take him into the next round. Jeff Gordon having all the momentum on his side is going to bring him into the round 2. Kasey Kahne, I think he's going to be like the last driver. He'll be in like 12th because he's had such a shitty time this season. Kevin Harvick because he wins at Chicago. Joey Logano because he's an asshole. Brad Keselowski because he's at Penske. Denny Hamlin because I think, doesn't he normally do good at Chicago? Because I know he struggles at Dover a lot. And I think he's had a couple issues at New Hampshire in the past. But I think he will get in as opposed to everyone else that could get in. Matt Kenseth because he's been having an awesome season so far. Ryan Newman because I don't know why not. Carl Edwards because I don't know why not. And Kyle Busch since he started getting a lot better at like New Hampshire and Dover. Like back in 2008, I mentioned this when I was talking about Kyle Busch. Like back in 2008, 2009, Kyle Busch would always wreck in either New Hampshire, Dover, or both, and take him completely out of contention in the chase. But he's gotten a lot better at those tracks lately, and he's gotten a lot better finishes in the championship. He's got the best odds out of everyone that could make it, that are not guaranteed to make it in, like Jimmie Johnson and Hendrick. Penske this year, they're guaranteed to get in, but like the guys that have issues like Ryan Newman, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is one of the most likely ones for that. Oh, what the hell am I doing? I haven't even predicted the races yet. For Kansas, I predict Jeff Gordon will win because he hasn't won for too long. Jimmie Johnson will win at Charlotte because he's good at Charlotte. And at Talladega, are you honestly expecting me to predict fucking Talladega? Go fuck yourself. Martin Truex Jr. is going to win at Talladega. Round 3, Jimmie Johnson, Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth. I'm picking Jimmie Johnson because he's Jimmie Johnson, Dale Jr. because he's Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon because he's Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick because he's been having a career season. This is his best chance at getting the championship, so I think he's going to be going forward. Joey Logano because he's at Penske, Brad Keselowski because he's at Penske, Denny Hamlin because I think he's going to pull a Matt Kenseth at Talladega and get a good finish at the end while everyone else is wrecking. So I think that's what's going to lock him into the next round. And Matt Kenseth because he's having a great season. So we change. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit. So for Martinsville, I think Denny Hamlin is going to best Jimmie Johnson at Martinsville and take him into the final round. Because, Kurt Busch won the one in whenever it was earlier this season. And I don't remember how Denny did. Or Johnson, for that matter. But I think Jenny is going to come back with a vengeance to Martinsville and get a dominating win, actually. And I'm not going to enjoy it because it's dominating and there's no competition. So, yeah, Jenny. 8675309 is Denny Hamlin's phone number, fangirls. Kevin Harvick for Texas because Texas favors dominant cars. And for Phoenix, I really don't know who's going to win Phoenix. I just feel like it's not going to be Jimmie Johnson. I just feel like it's not going to be Jimmie this year. It's just not. It can't be. No, it's going to be someone new. Someone fresh. Maybe Kasey Kahne, even though he's already out of the championship. And from those, we go on to the final predictions for the final round. Jimmie Johnson, Dale Jr., Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick. Why do I pick these four drivers? Well, obviously Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick because they got the wins. Jimmie Johnson because he is always consistent in the chase. And the golden NASCAR rule is never count out Jimmie Johnson. And I'm choosing Dale Jr. because he is having a career year. This is his best chance to get the championship of any other chance that he has ever had, really. And just because NASCAR's most popular driver remains Dale Jr., they'll throw him in, even if he got out, just like Jeff Gordon last year for the chase itself. So, Homestead, Miami. Obviously, I have not highlighted a driver so that I can make my final prediction when it comes time to actually watch the race. Oh, snap! Oh, snap! Y'all have to wait 10 weeks, motherfuckers! I'm just kidding. I will get to that in a second. So, Jimmie Johnson. His career at Homestead, Miami has never given him a win. It's always been a bit rough to him at times. 2005 would be an example. 2012, was it? Or was it 2011? One of those 2 years that he got a engine failure early. Why couldn't he have done that in like 2006 through 2010? Specifically 2009. Dale Jr., should only have 2 wins this season. It's like I said, he's got the world on his side here, and he's really honestly gotten really consistent top 10 finishes the whole season. Honestly, his best chance he's ever had at winning the championship, no denial there. Denny Hamlin. It's not been a pretty year for Denny Hamlin. Last year he got a back injury. Didn't he actually? No. When he broke his arm and won the race? That was like in 2011, wasn't it? God damn, that was a while ago. But anyway, yeah, Denny Hamlin. He's there. And Kevin Harvick also having a career year. All these drivers, except for Jimmie Johnson, are honestly having their career years. Jeff Gordon, well, not really so much Jeff Gordon, but his best in a long time. Dale Jr. having a career year. Kevin Harvick having a career year. Joey Logano at the pinnacle of his career. Brad Keselowski's having a good time. Matt Kenseth, real consistent. But last year was definitely his career year so far. All sorts of drivers having their best showing yet. But it's going to come down to these 4 guys. And you know what? Call me crazy. But you know who I think is going to win? I think it's Denny's year. I really do. This last round is really favoring Denny Hamlin. Homestead, Miami. He has, I think, 2 wins there. 2 or 3 wins at Homestead, Miami. And he's only been there, what? 8? He'll be there for his 8th time this year. He's won at least 25% of the races that he's entered there in the Sprint Cup level. I'm not sure about the Nationwide Series because I only really started honestly following it this year. But, ow! I just hit myself. How did that happen? I really think Denny Hamlin's going to be doing it this year because he's probably got the best average finish at Homestead, Miami out of all active drivers, no doubt, because of all the wins that he has gotten. I think it's 3, but I'm probably wrong, and it is 2. I think it's going to happen. Denny Hamlin wins the 2014 NASCAR Sprint Cup. And I don't remember. Let me check. I hope I don't have porn on here. Good, I don't. Okay. NASCAR champion. Bleacher Report. If the chase didn't exist, who would have won a championship? I think Denny actually has a championship, but I'm probably horribly mistaken. Let's scroll through here quick. Alright. So Brad won regardless in 2012. Tony in 2011 regardless. Oh, wait a minute. This is the old point system down there. Wrong. Okay, so yeah, Brad Keselowski did win regardless. Carl won that year. Kevin that year. Jimmie that year. Carl that year. Jeff, Jimmie, Tony. Okay, I guess he didn't have a championship actually. JK. What's his best finish? 5-5. Nowhere. 4-3. Nowhere. 6. And I don't have last year's. Yeah. Carl Edwards is a 2-time champion, for fuck's sake. Anyway. Yeah, Denny. This is his best year. This is his best chance. This chase format is really favoring Denny Hamlin every single time. Because he's, if he can make it to the final round every single year, he's going to have the best chance every single year. Unless they change in the final race, it's always going to be Homestead Miami. Then Denny's always going to have the best chance because he's so fucking consistently good there. So, yeah. I really think it's going to be Denny this year. I mean, unless Jimmie Johnson, Dale Jr., or Kevin Harvick can win the Homestead Miami race, I think Denny Hamlin wins this championship. And I don't think there are any points applied to this final round, so it's the finishing order. And absolutely no points for how you do. So you have to be a good driver at Homestead Miami or you're never going to win a championship, so that's kind of bullshit. Now just go back under the old point system, for fuck's sake. You'd make so many people happy. Kevin Harvick would have a championship. Jeff Gordon would be a 7-time champion. For the love of Phil. For the love of Phil. For the love of Phil. That's just all I gotta say. Phil Collins, for fuck's sake. Why is that? What year was that? When did Michael Waltrip have the 15 Napa car in this style of vehicle? Whatever. I'm off subject so hard right now, but I'm going to have a predictions here. I mean, not predictions, but the true outcome here, and after every round I'll basically summarize what happened. Maybe I don't know what I'm going to do, but now I'm just going to mention a couple of things that are going to happen for next year's NASCAR reviews. I'm pretty sure what I'm going to do is take detailed notes of every race and then have an organized NASCAR review. I may possibly stream it live like Bruce Blitz does with Raw reviews. I might do that if I get enough followers that care enough to do that at the end of a race. I might have a roundtable discussion similar to Bruce Blitz's videos at some point if people care enough. For restrictor plate tracks, I don't think I really can. I don't think you really can take notes on something like that because everything is changing every lap. Well, at least when Jimmie Johnson doesn't have a fucking dominant car at Daytona. But anyway. And yeah, so I think I'm going to be doing live reactions on like a streaming site of some sort. Or just do Twitter, or just film myself and upload it to YouTube after the race. Where's the fun in that, though? But anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to try to do some sort of streaming stuff with that, if people care enough. I know I will try to do that when I get to college, Because by then, that'll be a year. That would be like pretty much a year exactly from now. So I should probably have a lot more followers by then. But actually, that would be 2016. Because I'd have to do it at the start of the season so that it is all organized and stuff for OCD's sake. Yeah, I'm really... It's a working process right now, but I've got the idea in my mind to do Bruce Blitz styled NASCAR reviews and live reactions videos. And Stardust is now playing Dota 2. Yes, so that's a thing. And yeah, so that's my predictions for race winners, rounds, and champion. So yeah, that's good for now. But so yeah, I'll talk more about what I will do for NASCAR reviews next year and years later when the time comes for me to need to address it. But for now, take that for what it's worth. Think about if you want me to do live shows, roundtable discussions. If you want to take part in a live roundtable discussion, and hopefully these races do not suck. Hopefully they're all competitive. Everyone has a chance of winning at some point, and it doesn't favor Jimmie Johnson. Every single time. But anyway, yeah, that's all I got for now. I really just drug this last 3 minutes out longer than I needed to, and I apologize. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. That wasn't nearly as long as I thought it would be, so that's good. Anyway, I will see you in whatever I make next. Let's go, Chicago racing motherfuckers! I'm so sorry. Bye.